Hi, I'm Debbie Matson. I'm your career coach in the Career Center for Working Professionals at NYU Stern School of Business. This year, we all got a taste of working away from our office and from our team. And now we've been told that this extension may go on for another 6 or 12 months. I found reasons to love working remotely, but there are definitely challenges. You may feel challenged figuring out how to foster new relationships, meet people, or deal with conflict. At least once in your life, you're going to have a difficult boss, and it may be now while you're working remotely. Sometimes you can work it out and improve the situation, and sometimes you can't. But it's really important for your career and your professional development to at least try. Take a minute, step back, and think about your team and your role. Where do you fit in? What is your shared purpose, and what are your goals? As you evaluate the conflict that you're having, split your thoughts into 3 topics: understanding, organization, and communication. Understanding. First ask yourself, what is bothering me and why? Maybe sit down with a friend or a colleague you trust and talk through the issues. Sometimes just talking about it helps you rethink, reframe, and understand what's going on. And just the talking to somebody in itself can help solve your problem. You might be your own best resource. Second, spend a little time trying to understand what is challenging your boss. Why should you do that? Well, consider that your supervisor and your team probably were not set up to work remotely. Your supervisor, like many of us, may be working from a clothes closet in their apartment while children are running around. Your boss may be in a first-time management position made much more complicated by the switch to remote. Lots could be going on. It's worth your time to try to imagine their challenges and their weaknesses. Put yourself in their shoes for a few minutes. Also, a difficult and incompetent boss can possibly be a huge opportunity. Utilize some informal leadership. Think about solutions. Be a resource. One of the things about working remotely and sometimes in a very isolated way, maybe from home, is that it's easy to decide that someone else is just a jerk and that the problem is not something you can solve. But remember, we've all been in difficult situations, and you might someday be the boss who's having trouble, and you would want people to communicate and think about you. Organization. Think about your job. List the things you do at work, and list the things you're in conflict over. Is there a theme? Identify what is most important to solve first. And also ask yourself, how can you better manage? The worst thing you can do is go to your boss with complaints without having solutions. As a remote employee, you may need to over-communicate. You may think from the isolation of your den or your bedroom that you are doing too much, that you're trying too hard, you're asking too many questions. But at this point, working remote, too much is better than too little. Does your boss really know what you're working on, what you're struggling with, how much time it takes, and what you have accomplished? If the answer to any of those questions is no, then this is your responsibility and you need to communicate better. Think about when and through what channels you should communicate. At what time of the day is your boss in their best self and able to share ideas and think and go through things with you? Also, what are the best ways to speak? Is it by the phone, by messaging, by Google Hangouts, by Slack? It could be anything, but figure out the best way and the best time of day. At the end of the day, sometimes you can improve a bad situation and sometimes you can't. Keep notes, plan, and reflect in case you need to change teams or companies. It's also, I think, important to consider an idea from the authors Burnett and Evans in their book, Designing Your Work Life. Sometimes you just have to say to yourself, the situation is good enough for now. And while I work on improving it, I'm going to see what I can learn from other teams and from other people and achieve goals that maybe aren't directly related to my personal work situation, but that I can still achieve while in this job. I hope these thoughts have been helpful. Also remember that all relationships require work. And right now, when we are remote, our communication patterns have been disrupted. It's easy sometimes to throw in the towel and just say, this isn't working, someone's a jerk, I can't do this. But don't do it. Consider that you have an opportunity to thrive and to grow. And I wish you well in your own career development. Thanks.